Hello, welcome back to the channel. Today we'll be doing a NFL mock draft. I haven't done one of these in a while, and I like doing them. They're quick and easy for me to do, and people seem to really like them. I've got pretty good traction on a lot of these, so thought we'd start with that. I didn't even have my light on. Sorry about that. There we go. So we'll start with the mock draft here. No trades in this one because I haven't upped my PFF subscription yet. I'll be sure to do that sooner rather than later, with maybe a little deal would be nice for it. And then I'll do that for a lot of my mock drafts closer to what we're doing here. So, what we got, the Bears, right? Really interesting spot here. Do they stick with Fields? Do they not? I think they're gonna not. I know it's weird and it's gonna be one of the harder situations they've had in a long time. I think they could probably flip him to like, the Niners or something, you get a second round pick or something. But or even like the Vikings, weirdly enough. But I think that you got to get out of it if you can. You'll get a little bit of assets, but they're going to go Caleb Williams. It just makes too much sense. And Drake May instantly off the board to the Patriots. I think those two just make a lot of sense, right? Tall white quarterback is kind of like the model out there in New England, and then you got Caleb Williams going to Carolina, going with the Carolina pick to the Bears. They trade down last year, avoid Bryce Young, I guess you could say at this point, and pick up Caleb Williams, the guy they've been talking about for a long time. So that is a good fit there. And then now you could bring yourself to the Arizona Cardinals. And I think it just matters on what you think you're going to do long term with Kyler. Do you want to stay with Kyler and you take another O lineman with Paris Johnson last year? Do you take Olu Fashanu? Do you take Marvin Harrison here? I think it's really interesting. I think they go Marvin Harrison here. He's really good. I'm a Michigan fan. I can tell you firsthand, this guy is the best guy we faced all season. We're the best team in the country, and this guy's head and shoulders the best player he faced this year. Um, Speaking of Olu, I think he goes right off the board here. I would not hate a Brock Bowers pick early, but what we're gonna do here is we'll go with Olu right here. And now it starts to get interesting again. What do you do here? I think you talk to Caleb and you ask Caleb what he wants here. If he's very hell bent on wanting another receiver, I think you can go with Malik Neighbors. I think he'd make a lot of sense for the Bears. They kind of need some weapons, but then again, DJ Moore has been doing his thing. DJ Moore does say he wants Will Fields, though. Maybe he'll get a little annoyed. But I think when you look at the Bears, they need some O line help, and I think Joe Alt is the easy pick here. Jets. They got a very interesting job on their hands here. Do they go quarterback? Do they trust Aaron Rodgers as a smokescreen, or do they give him more weapons? I think you can hedge your bets a little bit here, and you can get a guy that's long term here. I think Brock Bowers is a really good fit here to the Jets. Oh, I messed that up. To the Giants. We're gonna draft for the Giants as the Jets. I think Brock Bowers could go there as well. So what we'll do here is we'll take. I think they're gonna go Jaden Daniels to the Giants. I think it makes almost too much sense. So we're gonna go Jaden Daniels there. I know this gonna make no sense on the graphic, but those of you watching will know flip the two Giants there, the two New York teams. Now looking at the Chargers, I think it depends on their coach. If they bring in a defensive coach and they want to go defense, I think the easy pick here for me is Latu, replacement for Bosa, who's gotten another injury and he's kind of going crazy as he does. So I think you replace Joey Bosa with Latu, and it kind of a like for like placement here, and you keep an LA kid in LA. And not really LA kid because he was at Washington transferred, but a guy that's at USCLA, keeping him in town, I think would be pretty good there. Now you look at the Titans. I think that they're gonna have to address running back at some point. With Derrick Henry's struggles this season, I think Spears is not really like a pounding back, if you will, pause. But I think you can take Malik Neighbors here, give him a good weapon out there. Now you look at the Falcons, and this is an interesting spot. Do you think JJ McCarthy comes off the draft here? I think he's going to go pro. I think this would be a good spot for him, giving him a good run game and some weapons. He's a little mobile, kind of, I guess you could say Ryan Tannehill type, where it's like a could run if needed, a good, high quality game manager at times. Would that, fit with Arthur's system? Probably. Is Arthur even going to be the coach? Who knows? Would the Falcons try to get Harbaugh? Maybe. I think for this sake, you're going to continue giving them a bit more weapons on offense. I think Roma Dunze goes off the board high here. I know they took Drake London high before. It's kind of worked. Do they need to address the offense? Defense is fine, and you got to really worry about the quarterback position. And I don't know if there's just good enough quarterback value here. I think this is the farthest Jay Daniels slides, though. If he's there at 10, I think they take him. Packers. They do need a running back. They do need a tackle, but sure up that D line, bring in a guy that you've already got in the area, Jason Newton. This kid's unbelievable. I've seen him fall down the Lions in some mock drafts, like the end of the first round. There's no way. This kid's a freak show. D line is, very important in the league. You've already got, you're paying some guys in that D line already, with Rashawn Gary. Why not bring another guy, Newton, another Big Ten kid? I think it makes a lot of sense. Now you got the Raiders also need quarterback. Could they pick a quarterback and do some crazy stuff there? Absolutely. Running back as well is needed, some D-line help, corner help. I think this is where Kool-Aid comes off the board. They need some help with that secondary. I mean, watching them get, they made some good plays against the Raiders, obviously the last few games against the Chargers. But when you've got a team like the Chargers in division and you've got, Mahomes in there, as much defensive help as you can get is needed. And Kool-Aid would help shut down some of those top guys that you're facing. Like a Rashee Rice has kind of come onto the scene, or you can see like a Keenan Allen type, help have Kool-Aid go in there and try to slow those guys down. Saints need a lot of help. That's been the case for the last few seasons. I think they could go D-line here and get a Jared Verse type to help with the edge. I think that'd be a pretty smart move. Or do they go tackle and address the need there? I think the tackle is the best part. I mean, you think of Derek Carr, he's always hurt, always upside down. I think Latham is the better guy over Fuga, the Oregon State guy, but he's going to fly out boards too. He's going to be a good job at the combine. I would not be surprised to see him really making a good name for himself. Now we bring ourselves to the Broncos. I think that they could go receiver here as well. The receivers is a really weird position this year. There's a lot of guys that are going to go higher than I think they probably should. But when you look at them, it's they need some help on the edge up front. Obviously, you can look at their position needs here as well, but receiver is a guy you think about, right? They have Sutton. Judy's just not really panned out. Marvin Mims is starting to do a bit better. I think that's like okay enough because you look at the receivers here. I know that they're gonna have Tez Walker up here, which I think is a little bit crazy. Keon Coleman, definitely a first round type guy. Ibuka, definitely a first round type guy. I could see him going Keon Coleman, but they already got one with Sutton. So I don't think they go for that. I think they'd wait for a speed threat, kind of more like Devontae Walker going forward. I think they stick here and they go Jared Verse to shore up that D line. And then quickly after him, another guy right off the board is gonna be Chop Robinson. Again, more defensive help up front for the Seahawks. You need that when you've got the crazy offenses you face in that league, and some mobile quarterbacks too. I think Chop helps get that job done. Steelers here. They could very easily go quarterback. Now, they've got a team that's already, doing their thing in terms of replacing a quarterback quickly. Not replacing a quarterback, excuse me. I don't know what I'm saying right now. They've got a pretty mature team. They've got some older guys on the defense that are getting old. Do they need replacing that help up front? I think so. I could definitely see them going Bo Nix or Penix here. But I think what they're going to end up doing is they're going to take Dallas Turner, like best available defensive edge, have him and TJ on opposite sides. That's going to be crazy. Now, you've already taken in this draft Marvin Harrison for the Cardinals, so we got rid of the need for for a receiver, and now I think they go defense here. Could you see Nate Wiggins, with the crazy receivers in this division? I think you got to go corner, and Wiggins is best available on the board here. I think that he's a good option there. Will really help, again, slow down the likes of what he got. Ayuk, Samuel. You've got Lockett, JSN, what's it called? DK Metcalf, Puka Nacua, Cooper Kupp. You got to get corners if you're in this division. It's a pretty receiver heavy one outside your own team, really. But now you got Marv, so you got to do that there. This one is one of the quickest picks I've ever taken in my life. It's going to be Keon Coleman to the Bills. Jump ball receiver, really good hands, can go on some deep balls. Just run deep and let Josh Allen throw you a crazy ball and you'll catch it. And I think it makes every sense and it'll happen frequently. So good for them there. Before last week, I would have said the Bucks here would go quarterback, but but you're actually okay now. Baker Mayfield had a really good game, one of the best of his career, really, last week against the Green Bay Packers. And I think that what they do here is they're going to address some of that bad defense with Traylon Trice, really good edge out of Washington. Had a pretty good season last year. I guess technically current year, but no one really talks about him as much when you think of Washington, think of the offense. But I think Trice needs to get a good look there. Quarterback Bo Nix for the Vikings. I think it makes way too much sense. Um, there's a lot of question marks when it comes to taking a quarterback that's a bit older. I think Bo Nix just fits it perfectly. I would say Penix, but he's left-handed, and that really changes a lot of things. And a lot of guys are going to have, it changes your whole system. Look at what you had to do with the Dolphins. You had to flip around your left tackle and right tackle, and you had to make sure your right tackle is more important, and you got to protect Tua because he's left-handed and it changes the routes and the way the ball comes out. So I don't know if you want to mess it up with that. Having a left-handed backup is really different. Like you look at Texas A&M, they had what was it, Max Johnson, I believe, is a lefty, and they had Wakeman. Whatever, one of the two was opposite hands, and it totally threw off everything. Everyone had to they had a 1 or 2 game adjustment period. It's pretty funny. So that's what we have there. Going forward now, the Rams. I think that Bo Nix will go on one of these two teams because I think Bo Nix would be a good, instant guy in and makes sense there. They have a good offense, a lot of receivers. I could see Penix going here as well, but I think you're going to have to start taking that D line and really trying to address what was going on, with potentially losing Aaron Donald. I think you go Leonard Taylor here, one of the good D linemen, really good D line class here this year, and I think that he's going to help close that gap. O line here, I think is an easy one here. You go best available Faluga here or Fauga. With AR being out there getting hurt, he's coming from a mobile quarterback system kind of with DJU. He's kind of used to that. So I think that'd be a good for not replacement, but adding a guy with a running quarterback if him, it's complicated. It's different, obviously, blocking for a running quarterback than it is for a traditional passing, pocket passing guy. So I think he's a good option there. Jaguars, they need help everywhere on defense. I think Trenton Arnold or Terry Arnold is going to start to slide up boards as you see them when they play Michigan on January 1st. I think that he's going to be a good option there to be one of the guys that kind of pops out of nowhere almost and slides up boards. And I think he's going to be a good fit there. Because again, you gotta shore up that defense because Trevor Lawrence do a ton on the offense. Got to shore up that defense. Amarius Mims, more O-line help for the Bengals. Burrow keeps getting hurt. I think you got to just keep trying to protect him as much as you can, and they get a good problem. Good thing right there. Receiver. Now, again, the receiver class is interesting. There's a lot of guys down here that should go a bit higher. I think that there's, it's gonna be a fit thing for the Chiefs here. I wanted them to take Hyatt last year. I think you can get a similar guy in Devontae Walker, but I think they're going to go for a bigger type receiver. And Brian Thomas is that type of guy, but I think A.D. Mitchell is the option here. He's a bit quicker and still can be a big body if he needs. I think he's like 6'4" and runs pretty quick. He's good slide up boards as well. Really good job last year at Georgia. Now comes over to Texas and lights up Alabama and a lot of these other teams. And he's been a lot of the reason why they've had this, this team has been moving forward. This one I think is a quick fix here. Ibuka goes with his college quarterback in CJ Stroud. They need a receiver, the Texans, so why not go ahead and get a Ohio State guy to pair with your Ohio State quarterback, and you've already got that built-in chemistry there, and I think Ibuka is a good option there to fit in with that receiver core. Lions need corner. Lions need a receiver as well. Lions need some D-line help, and edge help for sure. I don't even know if we have any edges still on here that would go high. I mean, I guess you could say JTT. I don't know if that would be a total perfect fit. Put another freak out there with him. I think it's going to be the pick, though. So JTT, unfortunately, Ohio State guy for me, being a Lions fan, going to the Lions. But putting him opposite side of Aiden, I think would be good help out there. Cooper DeJean, I think, is the next logical pick here for the Eagles. They need some help with defense. I know Slay's been out for a little bit now. Their corners haven't been great this year. Bradbury kind of getting smoked a lot. And then maybe they're missing CJ Gardner-Johnson. I don't know if they'll tell you that, honestly, but I think Cooper DeJean's a good replacement here for the Eagles, and he can return kicks as well. So maybe a little bit of a utility guy there. Dolphins, they need a tight end. Again, Brock Bowers is like the number one tight end here. I could see him going to Tavion here. I think they should wait till the second round to go get him. And I think you just take the best available O lineman here, which is Graham Barton out of Duke. Again, just keep protecting your guy out there, Tua. And I think Barton's a good option there. Cowboys, the D line pick, is Mozzie really worked this year? It's a question really that it's something that you could really go out there and address and ask questions there. They've had problems running the ball at times this year. Do you take a Jonathan Brooks coming off an ACL? Do you take a Trey Benson a bit higher up? It's a really weak running back class as is. I think that they'd be the team that would do it, but I think that again they wait here and they go D line help, get another D lineman out there in Chris Jenkins. I'll bring in another Michigan guy is probably what they would do, but you take the big guy from Texas, Kavondre Sweat, best defensive guy out there, or I guess lineman out there. I believe he won the award for it, best D lineman. Also scored a touchdown in Jerry's World already this season. So something that not a lot of guys have done, that he did in college. Obviously, his D lineman is pretty funny. I think this is an easy pick here. It's Cam Kitchens, the safety going to the Niners. I know their safety this year hurt himself. He was a good season. I forgot his name. It totally escapes me right now. But take the best available safety to replace him for right now. And it's the first time they've had a first round pick in a long time. So you can develop him in that system. You already got enough good offensive guys. Just keep getting that cheap defensive talent out there and moving forward. Ravens definitely could take a running back now that we saw Mitchell go down last game. Also, wouldn't hate them taking another receiver. But I think when they are doing their research, that they're going to end up liking this guy that I don't like as much. It's Brian Thomas. He's a bigger bodied guy. The guy next to Malik Neighbors, whenever you're watching Jayden Daniels highlights, he's the other guy that he throws it to. It's those two. And I think that he will sneak himself into the first round. I believe I have a second round here. Yeah, I'm going to go quicker on the second round. Obviously, you don't want to get super in depth with these guys because it's already getting a long video here. But I think what you got to do here, I could see Tez Walker flying up the board. I doubt that he ends up going this high. I think the guy you'll see here goes Leggett to the Panthers, who need a lot of help up front, whether that be O-line or receivers. I think you get them as many as you can, and Leggett's a good one there. Now that you've got Drake Maye, you could give him a receiver with Tez Walker, but I think that they're going to go offensive line here. And that would be Troy Fanatu from Washington. I think Jordan Morgan's really close. He'll go off the board pretty quickly for me here, but I think he's a good option there. Linebacker, again, it's a really weak linebacking class. I wouldn't be surprised a lot of these guys fly up the boards, but I think what you got to do here is Edgerrin Cooper from A&M. He's the best option you've got. They need, I have a big need at linebacker for the Cardinals, and I think that he's a good option there. Now, when you look at the Commanders, you've got earlier we've picked them Olu Fashanu. They need a tight end. I think this is where you could get Jatavion coming off the board, but instead I think they're going to stick with the defense. They're going to take Kamari Lassiter. Good season this year. I think he's can play safety. He's pretty good utility piece, Swiss Army knife type guy there. And then they bring another good defensive help here with Chris Baswell. When you trade away all your edges, might as well draft an edge with the replacement of the edge you've gotten from that pick. And I think they do that quickly there. Get two good SEC defensive guys and really close the gap here. Reminder, we took Brock Bowers. We took Jayden Daniels. So helping Jayden Daniels out will get him a receiver. I think this is where Tez Walker can come off the board. I know he's going to be a lot lower than a lot of people thought. He didn't play a ton this year because he had that crazy situation where he got held up against NCAA, but I do think he's one of the better guys out there. And I think that he'll go quickly off the board, a lot quicker than people think. And I think that's what's going to happen there. The Green Bay Packers, I forgot who we took them earlier. We took a D-line help for them earlier. They do need a running back, and I think that this is where you could see the back start to come off the board. I think that we're going to see them a little bit later than this. I mean, I think they might wait for their actual own pick to take them running back. And And I think that they'll take a safety in Tyler Nubin, just help some more secondary help with some potentially new quarterbacks. I mean, obviously with Caleb Williams coming in and Bo Nix in this draft, in addition to Jared Goff, probably sticking around for the Lions. We'll have that be a good option there. Chargers, I believe I took them an edge here. Yep, earlier. They need offensive weapons as well. And Herbert could get an Oregon receiver, but I think we're going to opt for Xavier Worthy instead from Texas. Another good stud receiver from Texas. He might come back, so he's probably won't go this late. If if he goes this late, he's going to stay, I would imagine. But right now, I have him going there because again, Mike Williams is always hurt. And you see right now they're down 2 receivers, and like their top option, I believe, is what, Jalen Guyton or Josh Palmer. So get in some more receiver help to help that already good offense. Maybe they elevate. They bring in a guy like Ben Johnson. They want some good action there, good tight end maybe later in the 3rd round. Because again, the tight end class is not terrible, but I just think that you've got to wait a little bit to start taking these tight ends, which will come off the board soon, I believe. I believe, like I'm not the one picking. Titans here already got him an offensive line, already got him help up front. So now we're going to give him offensive line help. Jordan Morgan comes off the board right around where he's projected to do, according to PFF here. So maybe me and them are on the same page. Finally, I've been on the same page as PFF in a while, but it is what it is. Now we have the Falcons. This is where I think Penix could come off the board if he's a late 2nd rounder, but I don't know. He's got to fit in like the perfect system. And I think you would probably imagine that would be down in Miami. I have him here now, looking at here with the Falcons. They are going to end up taking, excuse me here, I'm flipping around. They took a receiver first here. That means you got to go. I don't like going same offense and defense, same here. Quentin Mitchell from Toledo. He was higher up boards earlier, starting to slide down a bit. I think he'll have a good combine and he'll fly back up the boards. Always fun to take good action guys there, and I think they'll do that there. Packers, running back. Trey Benson might be running back 1. I think Bucky Irving is also up there. He can catch passes out of the backfield, and I think he's going to be the guy that you'll take. Donovan Edwards will be another one, but I don't think he's going to go pro this season. I think Will Shipley is also an option, but I will say I think Bucky Irving will be the first back off the board just because it fits what the Packers are doing. Probably crazy that he's going off the board first, but he's a like-for-like replacement with Aaron Jones, can run, but also can catch out of the backfield. Did a lot of that at Oregon, and I think that that'll be something that he'll need. What did I take for the Kool-Aid? Okay, this again could be the Penix spot. I think there's a few quarterbacks here. I know that it's a weird class because he's not in it. He's not in it. Travis is in it. You've got Pratt, I think, will be in it. Ewers won't be. JJ probably won't be. Bart Beck isn't. Shador isn't. So it's a really shallow quarterback room. I think we're going to leave Penix on the board for now. And instead, they probably need to go running back, but they have Zamir White. He played well. So he can wait. I think they'll go Chris Jenkins from Michigan. Potentially, especially if Harbaugh's there, I think it'd make a lot of sense. Bring a Michigan guy to stay in there. Eagles. I think this is where we see Troy Franklin come off the board. I'm not high as him as a lot of other people were. I was high on him in college, but I think, he's a good 3rd option now to pair with AJ Brown and Smitty. So might as well take him here. We took an O-lineman, I believe, for the Saints already. Correct. We took JT Latham. Did they trade their pick out? Yeah, they did pick before. It makes sense right there. They're going to go D-line as well. Sure up that front. I don't think there's any edges really. Maybe Sawyer. Who knows? This is where you start to get a little looser on what's going on here. But Mekhi Wingo was good before the season. I'll take him here, no problem. And again, LSU staying in New Orleans. I guess state of Louisiana. Makes some sense there as well. I always like when teams do that. I think it's pretty fun. So the Giants here, we did take Tez Walker to pair with Jaden Daniels, who did go to the Giants, just to keep reminding people that. And we'll address some defensive help here. We'll give them a D-back, Ennis Rakasrao Jr. out of Missouri. I think it's a good pick there. Again, when you've got the crazy teams that you do in that division, with the Eagles and the Giants, Eagles and the Cowboys, and they throw the ball the way they do, you want to make sure you have some good corners to help slow down that and give your team a better chance to win there. Now we have the Steelers. I went Dallas Turner first available there. I think this is where we get another linebacker off the board, and I think it could be Jeremiah Trotter. He's a bit more of a pass rushing linebacker, so it's a bit different for that. I think a very Steelers pick would be to take Peyton Wilson here. I know it's going to be way too high. He was Defensive Player of the Year for the ACC, and I believe even the country for the linebacking position. I think it's the Butkus Award, I believe, and I think he won that. So why not take him here and pair him with Dallas Turner and TJ Watt and the rest of those guys? I think it's a really good fit and probably address the secondary going forward after this one. The next on the clock are the Texans. I think this is a good defensive pick. We're going to give him the best edge available, which according to these guys is Jonah Ellis. They just need help up front. Might as well give the D'Amico Ryan some more weapons. He loves those edge rushers, so as many as you can give him, I think he'll love them. I think Jack Sawyer, give him Ohio State edge rusher, but more funny. But we're gonna go with Jonah Ellis here. Bills, they've already got, I guess I would say, I think they need a running back. I'm going to die on the hill that they need a running back. And I think that the running back they'll take is, potentially Blake Corum. I really could see him doing that. And we're actually going to go with it there. They need a short yardage back. He's a smaller, undersized guy. The Bills love taking guys like that. I think he'd be a good 1-2 punch with James Cook. Cook is more of a pass catching guy anyway. Corum is more of your short term, let's get some yardage type guy. I think I said he reminds me of Zeke Elliott late years, not Zeke Elliott in college. Like, let's be honest here. Zeke Elliott late years where it's like I think Corum's got a pretty good job of being a bowling ball, getting some short yardage type guys there. Third and short, you bring him in and he runs it. I know a lot of their third and short running is Allen, but is that really sustainable? Do you want your franchise quarterback taking these crazy hits that he does? You don't. And I think that you'll move past that, and that'll be a good save there. Bucks, who they have first pick? Braylon Trice, an edge rusher. They also need a running back kind of with Rashad White, but I have no problem with Rashad White. I think they start taking the first interior O lineman here, and I would say it's Zach Zinner. I think it might be, but Christian Mahogany probably going to get the nod over him. I think Zinner with that injury is going to be really interesting to see what teams think of him. I think he should be the first guard off the board, him or Cooper Beebe. I don't even know if Cooper Beebe even is still even up here. Yeah, I mean, he was getting crazy good grades going forward. But it's weird guard position, right? It's not sexy taking a guard high. Tackle, at least you can watch him game wreck and throw people to the ground. But you got to take, sometimes you got to do what you can, and helping Baker Mayfield out and maybe even punting on another quarterback for the year going forward. But Baker was all right. He really was. Speaking of all right quarterbacks, I would say running back is a need. Matheson stinks, but Ty Chandler came in the other day. It was unbelievable for him. Lit up the Bengals like no problem. So we're gonna go with another interior lineman here, and honestly, this is where I think Zinder will go. Like it's gonna be a quick run on these guys. I know he's low, but he was really good in college, and I think that that helps a lot. He might even come back again. It's a little crazy doing a mock draft this early, especially 2 rounds. But listen, I'm a little bit nuts. It is what it is. Rams, we had him take a D lineman earlier. I think they got to go O-line, best available, which is Patrick Paul, tackle Houston. Help keep Matthew Stafford upright. Again, I could see Penix going here. Could see Bo Nix going here. It's weird because there's a sharp drop off in quarterbacks, but I think I have Penix just falling down a little bit too hard because he's left-handed. It's probably left-handers unite. I'm left-handed, so I feel his pain, but it's just a system thing, man. And I don't know if it's just even going to end up working. So it is what it is. The Colts here, I think I took a tackle earlier for them. They do need receiver help. I don't think Ladd's going to the pros. I want to see who here is even going to the pros up here. Jalen Polk, I think, is a good option. Really good receiver out of Washington. They have a really good system, really good guys out there. So I think he'd be a good fit, instant plug and play, because they really are lacking a receiver, even 2. Alec Pierce is kind of not working. I know Josh Downs is kind of taking his spot. I think that you bring in Polk, another type guy. just help that room out, help give AR all the weapons he needs. Another guard is coming off the board here. Um, First center, actually, and it's going to be Jackson Powers Johnson. I was thinking maybe Zach Frazier, but we'll go Powers Johnson here as well. And now the tight end comes off the board, Jatavion Sanders or Luke Lackey. I'd obviously opt for the Iowa tight end, but I think that they'll go Jatavion Sanders, a bit more of a freak athlete. You need more of a receiving threat anyway for the Bengals there, so I think they go with Jatavion. Chiefs took a receiver. I mean, I wouldn't even hate them taking a second receiver. That's where we're at right now. What they're going to do instead, they'll take Ruth Orthorco. I liked him before the season. I think he's a good D lineman. Help up that really good Chiefs defense. I mean, it's a defensive first team right now, which is crazy. But help continue develop that defense, and it'll help take some pressure off of that Chiefs offense that's been pretty questionable at times this season. First pick here for the Brownies. I could honestly go quarterback here, but we're going to go receiver. I think that they take Jalen McMillan from Washington. I know he's a bit high on him, but I'm really high on these Washington receivers. Obviously, with him, all three of them going before the quarterback, is that going to happen? Probably not, but I think it's something that definitely is a weak possibility, but I could definitely maybe see it happen. I want a receiver here from the Lions, but that's me as a fan. But I think Kalen King is a no-brainer here. Detroit kid, keep him in Detroit. Buying low on him. He was a top 20 pick at some point. Had a little bit of an off season this year. I think that it's a good buy low spot. I think Adisa Isaac is another guy to watch out. Some Penn State guys going to Michigan, going to the Lions. I could definitely see it happening. Eagles took Troy Franklin and Cooper DeJean. They need a linebacker here. And this is a bit more of a blitzing linebacker, so I think it kind of fits them well. Jeremiah Trotter Jr., one of the better guys in terms of running. His partner Barrett in college is the coverage guy. He was the blitzing guy, as I talked about in my preseason games there. So that's what we have there. I've been hinting at it the whole time. Left-handed quarterback. I think Penix is a good insurance option for Tua, right? Tua's been playing pretty well, doing his thing, kind of get extended, but again, he's like one or two head injuries away, probably one from maybe having to wrap it up. And I think having a more experienced guy come in here, another left-handed quarterback, I think it makes it really simple and easy for everyone out there. You can keep the same system. He comes in. I know Mike White's a good backup right now, but I mean, I think you bring in an easy left-handed quarterback, and I think it solves everyone's problems here. Cowboys, running back, Ohio State, TreVeyon Henderson. I know he's potentially thinking about coming back to school, which would be very dumb. I have no problem with it, but I think that you got to get to the league as soon as you can, especially with the running back. He's had some injury concerns in his career, but I think that he'd be a really good option to go to the Dallas Cowboys and help Tony Pollard go back to that role of more of a pass catching back, because the whole running back thing with him being the number one running back maybe was a bit of a mistake. Niners, I think I had him take safety first. Says they need O-line and corner. He can kind of play corner. Let's go O-line here. Interior and tackles. Kingsley Suamataia. We'll go with him. It's really a toss-up between these two. Obviously, looking at the board here, and I'm not super in depth of what's going on there, but that's what we'll do there. Ravens. I think I had him taking a defense at first. Oh, Brian Thomas. The defense is already really good. Let's give him a running back here. I think Estimate would be a good one, but I think Trey Brett Benson will be the guy off the board. He did officially declare the other day, so we actually know that that's what's going to be happening. But here is our final mock draft here, our final standings here. I remember switch Browers and Daniels. It'd be funny if that was actually how it went, and I was right the whole time, but we're switching it there, the New York teams. But yeah, that's what we have here. I'll quickly slide down through these picks. You can pause it and look and see what your team got if you want to just quickly come to the end of the video and see what happened. But again, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. We'll see you guys next time. Peace.